to the peace and security of Nigeria. The judge said he had perused the country's constitution and there was no part that supports the formation of shadow or parallel government, stressing that Section 1, Paragraph 1 and Paragraph 2 of the 1999 Constitution is supreme and binding on all citizens, irrespective of political divides. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has thrown his weight behind the All Progressives Congress, APC, candidate for the forthcoming Abuja Area Council elections scheduled for February 2026. Minister who disclosed this at the official flag-off of the construction of Access Road Bypass Airport second runway from Bill Clinton Drive to Tonga Madaki. Settlements, including 4 span bridges in Abuja, urged residents of Tonga, Madaki, and neighboring communities to reciprocate the federal government's gesture by voting for the ruling party.
Sometimes ago, when Ministry of Aviation was to pay compensation to the settlements as regards to the second runway, of course, because the land belongs to the Federal Capital Territory, so we have to supervise the payment or the compensation for the acquisition of the land for the second runway. One of the things that the communities ask for, that they have to be connected, they have to be linked up with roads. It will be quite unfair that they are releasing their land for a second runway, but yet they have no access to even go to the airport. It does not make sense. Of course, you know that because aviation has also to deal with security, I have to take this matter to Mr. President. And Mr. President said, whatever the settlements, whatever they ask for, give it to them. We are here to the glory of God to fulfill the promise made by Mr. President to the people of Tonga Madaki settlement. And that is the essence of the whole thing about the Renewed Hope agenda.
Wike also said the road project stemmed from earlier negotiations during the acquisition of land for the construction of a second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, adding that despite the land belonging to the Federal Capital Territory, the Aviation Ministry had to pay compensation, during which the affected communities demanded road access as a condition.
Now that INEC has said area councils can go and campaign, now that INEC has said they can go there and campaign officially, you all know where we are heading to. Now, let me say, remember, you have had area council chairman before, no be so? Did anybody remember Tonga Madaki settlement? Now that you have a son, Makarangu, who has always, day and night, keep on reminding me, Mr. Minister, remember, the people of Tonga Madaki had made this request during the compensation of the land acquired for the second roadway. Please continue to press on it, Mr. President, so that we can attend to them, so that we can make sure the request made is being fulfilled. So, my dear people of Tungamaraki, I have handed over Makalagu to you.
While presenting the scope of the project, the Executive Secretary, Engineer Richard Dauda, highlighted the economic benefits of road to the community and FCT residents at large.
Accordingly, the FCT administration processed the provision of access road to link Tungamadaki and 9 other communities that fall within this Erythropolis area, and thus bypassing the airport second runway. These communities include Tungang Kwasa, Tungang Kanu, Angwang Kundagba, Tudung Nasara, Tudung Ashere, Tungang Wakili, Tungang Giwa, and Sohonjua. Your Excellency, the project was awarded to Mr. CCECC Nigeria Limited in February 2025 with a completion period of 12 months. The scope of works consists of construction of 7 kilometers asphalt paved road, 180-meter 4-span river bridge. The works also include site clearance, earthworks, trapezoidal drain line on both sides of the road, culverts of various sizes, as well as solar street lighting. The contractor has commenced works with site clearance and earthworks. Your Excellency, in the course of this project, jobs will be created to the teeming youth in these communities. When completed, the project is to link the Bill Clinton Drive to these several communities, as earlier mentioned, and the road will also open up the area for development and allow the movement of people and agricultural produce. Its completion will also improve the socio-economic well-being of the inhabitants within this vicinity. We therefore seek the cooperation and support of these communities in ensuring a smooth and timely implementation of this project.
African Democratic Congress has issued an ultimatum to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and other prominent figures in the party to register at their respective wards before the end of the year or risk losing recognition as members. Adamawa State Chairman of the ADC, Shehu Yohane, said the party had unveiled its membership register and only those with valid membership cards would be acknowledged. This is coming after last Thursday when the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, Bolaji Abdullahi reaffirmed the caucus resolution that all coalition members resign from their current parties and register fully with the ADC, a directive dismissed as inconsequential by both the APC and PDP. Atiku's much publicized membership registration, initially scheduled for August in his hometown of Jeddah, was suspended indefinitely last month without explanation, adding that the ADC boasts politically influential figures and is prepared to wrest power from the APC administration. He further claimed that the credentials of ADC governorship aspirants are among the best, in Adamawa and indeed across Nigeria. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has sacked Hajia Zainab Babantako, the state's Commissioner for Women Affairs and Child Development, of her duties with immediate effect. The Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the Governor, Mr. Mukhtar Gidado, who disclosed this in a statement, said the decision was a result of a minor change by the Governor to the composition of the State Executive Council. A statement issued by the Information and Public Relations Officer of the Commission, Saleh Umar, said the offense contravened State Public Service Rule 0327, which relates to forgery and falsification of official documents. This is coming after the Commission dismissed an education officer on September 11 for gross misconduct involving sexual harassment. Federal government has stopped illegal mining activities after 13 people were confirmed dead and 2 others missing following the collapse of a mining pit in Kadauri village, Maro local government area of Zamfara state. The federal government, through the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, confirmed the incident and federal mines officers had been deployed to coordinate ongoing rescue operations. According to the ministry, the tragedy was triggered by heavy rainfall and aggravated by unlawful mining practices carried out by illegal operators in the area, while at least 15 itinerant mine workers were trapped when the pit caved in, with 13 lifeless bodies so far recovered. A statement signed by the Special Assistant on Media to the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Shegun Tomori, said efforts are underway to retrieve the 2 miners still buried beneath the rubble. Reacting to the incident, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, described the accident as both unfortunate and avoidable, adding that the ministry had mobilized its department to support rescue efforts and to unearth the circumstances that led to the collapse. And to address illegal mining, the federal government had launched the mining marshals over a year ago, and the ministry is now working to expand its operations nationwide by strengthening logistics and manpower. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Please stay with us.
Broadcasting in Africa. The National Broadcasting Commission is set to host the 14th Biennial Conference and Exhibition of African Broadcasters, Africast 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria. Participants will experience a week of world-class expositions showcasing the very best in creativity, innovation, and cutting-edge broadcasting technological advancement and trends in the global broadcast media ecosystem. Theme: Navigating the Digital Surge, Building a Resilient Africa Media Ecosystem for the Future. Date: Monday, October 20th to Friday, October 24th, 2025. Venue: Balmoral Convention Center, Sheraton, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Time: 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Visit www.africastexpo.com or email info@nbc.gov.ng. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer, Management.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has been scheduled to inaugurate the newly renovated National Arts Theatre, Igamu, Lagos on Independence Day. A statement from the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday said the renovation of the National Theatre has been undertaken by the CBN and the Bankers Committee as part of their commitment towards giving back to the nation as a mark of bold investment in Nigeria's cultural heritage and creative future. According to the statement, Tinubu, who in July 2024 renamed the edifice the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and the Creative Arts in honor of the Nobel laureate, will lead a distinguished gathering of state governors, members of the National Assembly, the diplomatic corps, captains of industry, academics, cultural ambassadors and youth leaders, the CBN, the Bankers Committee, and the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. In the statement said, the theatre's reopening was both a celebration of Nigeria's rich cultural legacy and a launchpad for its creative industries. While the renovation was financed and delivered by the CBN and the Bankers Committee, the ministry's partnership in programming, policy alignment, and stewardship of Nigeria's cultural ecosystem ensures that the rejuvenated National Theatre will serve as a truly national asset. The reopening will feature performances by the National Troupe and other leading artists with special remarks from Professor Wole Soyinka. CBN Governor Olayemi Kadoso will deliver the welcome address with goodwill messages from Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the federal government is planning a low-key 65th Independence Day anniversary celebration. Idris made this known at the Pre-Independence World Press Conference on Monday in Abuja, adding that the National Value Charter championed by NOA is a framework for cultivating national pride and fostering responsible citizenship by outlining both the government's commitments and citizens' obligations. He also said the charter is divided into two parts. The Nigerian Promise details which details government commitments to values like equality and freedom, while the Citizens' Commitment outlines individual responsibilities such as discipline, accountability, and tolerance. According to him, the NOA's campaign aims to promote principles through sensitization drives in collaboration with community stakeholders, while leveraging digital platforms to build a more unified and value-driven society. The Charter also defines the Nigerian Promise, the government's commitment to equality, democracy, entrepreneurship, peace, inclusivity, freedom, and meritocracy, and also highlights a citizens' code for Nigerians to embrace discipline, duty of care, tolerance, leadership, accountability, environmental awareness, and resilience. Federal government has declared Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, a public holiday in celebration of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. A statement by the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, through a statement signed by the ministry's permanent secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, congratulated Nigerians at home and abroad on the milestone, urging them to uphold the values of patriotism, unity, and resilience that have sustained the nation since independence in 1960. He also called on citizens to maintain confidence in President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which he described as a framework for national rebirth, economic transformation, and shared prosperity, and also expressed optimism about the nation's future, adding that Nigeria would continue to advance in peace and progress and development with the collective support of its people. The minister, on behalf of the federal government, wished Nigerians a joyful and memorable Independence Day celebration. Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured Nigerians in the diaspora of robust engagement in the policies and programs of the administration of President Bola Tinubu towards positioning Nigeria in its rightful place among the Committee of Nations. He spoke during a meeting with members of the Nigerian community in the United States on the sidelines of the 80th sessions of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, and urged Nigerians overseas to believe in their home nation, adding that the country is not on the right track under President Tinubu's watch. The Vice President said Nigeria is on the right path with the reforms being undertaken by Tinubu under the Renewed Hope agenda, and commended Nigerians in diaspora for their resilience and belief in the current Nigerian government, while acknowledging their capacity to add value to the country's transformation efforts. Shettima also said Nigerian community in the United States, as well as others across the world, should be proud of their heritage, adding that Nigeria's positive developmental indices in all spheres are a reflection of the well-throughout policies of the Tinubu administration. Earlier, Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, introduced some Nigerians who were recording giant strides abroad to the Vice President, stressing that under the Tinubu administration, the issue of diaspora Nigerians is taking center stage and also given the needed attention. Minister of Information Mohammed Idris has endorsed the ongoing Write It Done project by one Shaibu Ishaq, aimed at focusing the leadership excellence of President Bola Tinubu. A statement issued on Monday in Abuja, Ishaq, the project convener, said the initiative is designed at a Guinness World Record attempt to compile a compendium of President Tinubu's achievements, and also commended Ishaq for his efforts in documenting the president's leadership milestones despite opposition-driven misinformation and propaganda. The minister commends the initiative, which reflects creativity, resilience, and patriotism under the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, and recognizes as a unique contribution to national discourse and cultural diplomacy, while reiterating the president's commitment to economic reforms. Also saluted Ishaq's courage in articulating Tinubu's achievements in book form. In his remarks, Ishaq expressed delight at the minister's endorsement and pledged to diligently highlight the leadership strides of the president, and also reaffirmed his commitment to patriotism and urged Nigerians to support and appreciate the policies of the current administration. This is coming barely 2 weeks after Chef Hilda Bassi set a new Guinness World Record for the biggest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice, weighing 8,780 kilograms, and the record, which was achieved in partnership with Gino on Friday, September 12, in Victoria Island, Lagos. Economic Community of West African States has restarted efforts to finalize its long-pending regional blue economy strategy, beginning with a high level of consultative workshop held on Monday in Abuja. The workshop gathered key representatives from ECOWAS member states, regional economic bodies, and continental institutions to review and validate the draft strategy, which has been inactive since its initial development in 2022, adding that the blue economy, covering marine resources, aquaculture, maritime transport and conservation, and climate adaptation, is regarded as essential for sustainable growth across the West Africa. The initial draft was created under the Program for Improved Regional Fisheries Governance in Western Africa, but had since stalled due to administrative delays. The Program Officer for Fishery Development and Focal Person for Blue Economy at ECOWAS, Dija Tiao, delivered remarks on behalf of the outgoing Director of Agriculture and Rural Development, Alain Traoré, and underscored the strategic importance of regional cooperation on the marine resource management. He also highlighted the interconnected nature of marine sectors and the need for policy alignment. Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, governors and ministers from the Southeast extraction have adopted President Bola Tinubu as their consensus candidate for the 2027 presidential elections as a means to end the long 73-year-old Igbo-Yoruba rivalry. A communique was issued at the 2025 annual Igbo Day celebrations with the theme Igbo Ekunye, held across the 7 Igbo-speaking states and signed by Prince Dr. Richard Ozobo. Chief Jackson Omenazu, Mazi Ukechukwu Isiguzoro, Professor Chibuekeya Achowakwa, Chief Chinyenyeze, Professor Mrs. Neoma Okpabi, and Chief Alex Okemiri. The group said unresolved misunderstanding among members of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroon's NCNC, which hindered the elevation of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe to the position of Premier of the Western Region 1952 and initiated a bitter rivalry that plagued both the Igbo and Yoruba people for over 7 decades, was culminating in the grand finale in Port Harcourt, River State, on Monday, September 29, 2025. The participants of the 2025 Igbo Day celebration also recommend bold steps toward reconciliation while advocating for an end to the long-standing strife in the best interest of Igbo investment and economic footprint in Lagos and the Southwest. Independent National Electoral Commission has dismissed recent claims suggesting that Nigerians have lost confidence in the country's electoral system, describing such assertions as baseless and unsupported by facts. This is coming after INEC faced criticism from various civil society organizations and religious organizations, which raised concerns over what they perceive as growing public disillusionment with the electoral process. Responding to the criticisms, the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyakami, said the evidence points in a different direction and highlighted on the need for more robust public engagement in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, adding that INEC launched the new phase of CVR on August 18 to enable eligible voters to pre-register online before completing the process at designated centers. He also said the completion of registration must be done in person in accordance with the Electoral Act 2022, specifically Sections 9, paragraph 7 and 10, paragraph 2, to mark a major improvement in the country's electoral system, particularly in terms of diversity. Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has provided updates on the continuous voter registration, CVR, following the weekly online pre-registration statistics from 22nd to 28th of September 2025. Being the week 6 of the exercise, the Commission said it recorded a total number of over 6 million voters. It also said that number of 537,743 has completed online registration, while 466 389,000 has completed physical registration. Academic Staff Union of Universities has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government of Nigeria. The union made the decision following a National Executive Council meeting held on Sunday at the University of Abuja. The national president of ASU, Professor Chris Pinwuna, who disclosed this in Abuja at the National Executive Council meeting held at the University of Abuja on the 28th of September 2025. The union decried the neglect of the university system and the government's consistent refusal to heed to its demands. This is coming after the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Education, set up a committee headed by the Permanent Secretary and the Ministry Abel Entiam to look in a proposal for ASU in a bid to ensure stability across universities, and the committee is yet to make any decision known to the public. ASU's core demands remain largely unchanged, including the negotiation of the 2009 agreement, adequate revitalization funds for universities, settlement of outstanding salary arrears, and sustainable funding mechanisms. Federal Ministry of Education has launched the 2027 communication strategy to framework to enhance policy engagement, transparency, and public trust in Nigeria's education sector. Speaking at the launch in Abuja on Monday, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, described the strategy as a blueprint for telling Nigeria's education story with clarity, credibility, and consistency, adding that effective communication was a critical success factor in achieving the education goals of President Bola Tinubu's renewed Hope agenda. The minister commended President Tinubu for what he called unprecedented budgetary allocations to the education sector, which had enabled infrastructure upgrades, teacher training, and the rollout of the Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative, highlighting NESRI's 6 priority areas. Alausa cited several achievements, including expansion of technical and vocational education and training, with more than 960,000 applicants processed on the new digital platform and 58,000 contestants matched to the training centers, adding that from the 2025-2026 academic session, federal and selected state technical colleges would offer free tuition, boarding, and stipends. On basic education, the minister said the following accomplishments over the last 6 months, including the construction of nearly 4,900 new classrooms, renovation of 3,000 classrooms, and supply of more than 353,000 pieces of furniture. 2.3 million learners, adding that the ministry had identified nearly 1 million but out of school children, reintegrated 35,000 learners, and is also planning the rollout of bilingual smart schools in 36 states. All right, sorry, I was checking. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has launched a training program for officers who will oversee the Nigeria Police Force's criminal database systems across zonal division and state commands. Speaking at the opening session in Abuja, where 72 trainees were drawn from commands nationwide, Egbetokun said the initiative signals a shift to intelligence-led policing anchored on data and predictive analysis, adding that the system will enhance the tracking of repeat offenders, detection of crime patterns, strengthening of prosecutions, and integration of Nigeria's records with global security platforms such as Interpol. The police chief added that the reform would end weak record keeping and fragmented intelligence, ensuring every arrest and case is properly documented to boost public confidence in the force.
This initiative is part of our broader police reform agenda. For too long, Nigeria policing has been limited by weak records, scattered files, and fragmented intelligence. That era ends today. With the support of the federal government and our partners, we are building a system where every arrest is recorded, every case is documented, and every officer is accountable. No case will vanish into forgotten files. No conviction will disappear into silence. And let me add that this reform is not for the police alone, it is for the Nigerian people. When citizens know their complaints are properly recorded, when they see follow through in investigations, their confidence in the police grows.
Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of ICT, William Sadebowale, said the upgraded crime database software provides a secure and standardized means of recording and analyzing incidents nationwide, adding that the platform also features case management tools, biometric integration, and linkage with the National Identity Management Commission.
The incident database provides a structured, standardized, and secure means of recording, tracking, and analyzing incidents and criminal activities across the country. However, as criminal activities evolve, so must our tools and our approach evolve. That is why the force under the IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun invested in this upgraded version of the NPF software, a smarter, more robust, and user-friendly platform designed to enhance data collection, reporting accuracy, and real-time decision-making.
And now to our business news. Following the nationwide strike declared by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria on Monday, have paralyzed operations at key oil and gas regulatory institutions, including the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The industrial action, which followed the weekend directive by the union's National Executive Council, saw members across the country withdrawing their services, effectively shutting down critical agencies that drive Nigeria's oil and gas industry, including the NUPRC headquarters in Abuja. And the main gate was firmly locked, leaving several employees stranded outside the premises, while security operatives on duty confirmed that no staff were allowed entry. In line with the strike directive, issued by the union. Similarly, activities at the NMDPRA headquarters in the busy Central Business District were completely grounded as workers fully complied with the industrial action. Confirming the situation, the Pengasan chairman in NMDPRA, Tony Iziogba, said the union had achieved 100% compliance, effectively restricting access to staff and visitors, adding that his colleagues had also enforced 100% compliance at the NNPCL and other relevant agencies. Pengansan also said the strike became inevitable after the alleged wrongful dismissal of about 800 workers at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, stressing that the union's directive to halt crude oil and gas supplies to Dangote Petroleum Refinery has sent shockwaves through the energy sector, with oil marketers warning of severe disruptions in fuel distribution. In a strongly worded resolution signed by Pengasan, General Secretary Lumumba Okubawa, the union accused the refinery of violating Nigerian labor laws and International Labour Organization conventions by sacking workers for joining the union, and further alleged the dismissed workers had been replaced by foreigners. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Norwich begins 7-day warning strike in Rivers State. ADC gives Atiku ultimatum to pick membership card. FG declares Wednesday, October 1st public holiday. TUC demands reinstatement of sacked workers. Vietnam typhoon kills 11 persons. FIFA deducts 3 points from South Africa. I almost quit music, says Davido. I am Francis Neka. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, now X at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1. Remember, peace and unity are pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.